Today is March 24th. It's not nice. It's cold down here. It's about 31 degrees. At least the sun is out. Today I'm going to start working on the top sides. I'm going to take the wax off this side, wash it. Maybe we'll re-wax it today. Yesterday I did the other side. Don't know if I'm real happy with it or not. I used a new product this year. Let's take a look. It doesn't look horrible, but there's kind of, if you look close, there's like a weird texture, and I don't know if it's the pad I used did that, or if the wax didn't come off completely, or what. But I'm going to try waxing it by hand, which is kind of my original plan anyways, was to buff it and wax it by hand. It's weird, parts of this look good, but other parts don't, so I don't know if I used too much wax, if it was too cold. Let me show you what I used. Alright, so here are the products that I'm using for this project. First of all, the 3M Super Duty compound. I did this project about 4 years ago, and I did the 2 steps. So that means first, buff, step 2, wax. So then I used this compound, and then I used carnauba wax, and then for the last 4 years I've just done carnauba wax. This year I'm out of carnauba wax. It's okay, but it actually worked good. It's really hard to apply. I mean, it would be a day to do each side of the boat. So this year I talked to someone at the Chicago Boat Show. He showed me this product. This is kind of a one-step, light buff and wax included. So I started with this because you don't want to do a heavy buff to your gel coat every year, because you will wear through your gel coat. So this is just a light buff, which after about 4 or 5 years is probably what it needs, and then wax. Supposedly this light buffing compound has wax in it, so you can just do it with one step. I did it yesterday and I'm not happy with it. I don't know if it's because of my application, because it was cold out, or because of the buffing wheel I used. So I went over a little area with just the wax and it looks beautiful. So I'm once again happy with these 3M products. First step in this project is to wash your boat. I just use a Pure Oceans citrus boat soap, long handle brush, bucket. After that's done, I use a dewaxer, a solvent by Interlux 202. I think any solvent works. I use this just because it's what I have and what I've used. Acetone does work, but acetone tends to evaporate so fast, it's hard to work with. So the first year I used a good buff pad, which is real important. This is a 3M buff pad, and this one is the pad that 3M recommends for a heavy buffing compound. 3M recommends the yellow pad, which is a more synthetic pad or softer pad for this. However, that's a cheap buff pad I bought from Harbor Freight for $10. This is a nice one. I think that's probably why I didn't get the result I wanted with doing this one-step treatment, but whatever. I just have a cheap Drill Master buffer. This is the second project I've ever used it on, and if it lasts for this project, I'll get my monies out of it. Of course, the bucket. Alright, time to get back to work. Alright, let's get to work. I need water. I gotta get the hose set up. I need a ladder. What else do I need? I need to get stuff out of the boat. I need it to be about 10 degrees warmer. Alright, step 1. Let's get the hose ready. The hose is on the ground. I gotta get the pump. And luckily, we have a nice supply of fresh water today. That's not the Milwaukee River. That's high up. This boat right here, someone covered up, and their cover became a swimming pool. So since that's higher, I'll be able to get more water pressure, and it should actually work better. So let's get on that. Let's get our stuff out and get to work.
No, it's just very, it's just
it's still back there.
Still for sale.
Alright, so there's always some random person walking through the boatyard that wants to talk about something, but it's good to network with people. It's good to meet people that walk through the boatyard.
You know, storage?
Yeah.
They go here.
Alright, check this out, just to show what type of a day it really is out here. Here's my plan, to pump water out of this boat to use it to wash my boat. Got the pump up there, check it out. Yep, the water's froze. So it really is cold out here. I mean, it's probably, I don't know, I say that looks maybe like a ½ inch of ice. But my gosh. So, I don't know why I think that's so funny, but I really think that's funny. Alright, cool. Get back to work. Washing the boat. Unfortunately, I have almost no water pressure, so my hose must be froze. I've got ice in the hose. There was ice in my water supply. There's going to be ice in the hose. So since there's some water coming through the hose, I'm going to just kind of break up the ice crystals in the hose and let it run and let the ice melt and push the ice out of the hose. It's just one more step that makes this project take longer. Makes it even more fun to do this stuff when it's cold out. But it is what it is, and I just want to get it done, so let's just keep pushing forward, keep going. Okay, as long as I have some water, I'm going to start scrubbing the soap on the boat and just brushing it out. Just kind of go through it a couple times. Yep. Brush the soap on, wash it. It's nice because it's cold today, so I don't have to worry about the water evaporating too fast and the soap drying out. So it gives me more time while the ice crystals kind of melt in the hose. So, alright, let's wash the boat. Alright, look at that. See? An ice crystal came out of the hose. Now, finally, the ice crystals are out. I have some pressure. Now I can rinse the boat. Alright, this looks much better. Look at that. Good pressure. Not quite as good as having, like city water pressure, but it's better. It's something, and it's not bad. So, alright, now we can continue on with the project. Alright, so the next step in this project is to wipe the wax off. I just soak a rig in my Interlux 202 and just rub and wipe the wax off. The 202 works pretty good because it doesn't evaporate very fast, especially when it's cold, so it gives you a lot of time to work with it. You notice after you do this for a while, the rig kind of collects like a blue film. The blue film is the wax collecting on the rig, so after I get a lot of the blue on the rig, I just refold the rig so I have another clean section, and I just kind of continue this process and go over the whole boat. Alright, so pretty productive day so far. I got the old wax off this side, and the other side I applied the new wax to by hand, not the buffing wax combination stuff, but just regular wax. Alright, this side looks beautiful. I just used this 3M boat wax without any grit in it, and just re-went over it. So it probably is the way I applied the combination wax, the one-step stuff with the buffing compound in it. So I don't know, but whatever. I'm really happy with the way this looks. So this side's done. I just took the wax off the other side. Let's take a look. Alright, this side without the wax on, that effect that looks like rain or water drops is gone. And this side looks really smooth. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna go over and put combination buffing compound on this side. I love using this 3M wax. This is so much simpler than the Carnauba wax that you put on to a haze, let dry, and use everything you have to try and wipe it off. This stuff is just so easy and so fast, and I'm really pleased with the way it looks. So, alright, rest of the day we'll get this done, and then maybe start on the hull. That's the next project. This goes fast. It just needs to get scuffed, hit it with acetone, paint it. Yep. Maybe we'll get to a little bit of that today, but it's getting cold out. So at some point, as excited as I am to do all this stuff, there's just so long you can spend down here working on this stuff, and it just gets cold and it gets boring after a while. So we'll see, but definitely getting the top size wax today. Alright, so when all else fails, follow directions. So I just noticed on this stuff, the wax and buffing compound one step, that the back label peels open and there's directions on how to use this stuff. You're not supposed to let this dry to a haze. You're supposed to keep it liquid and buff into it. Or maybe that's what I don't know. Anyways, there's directions to use it by hand, so that's what I'm doing. It takes a little bit longer to rub it on than the stuff with just the wax, but at least I'm getting a little bit of buffing then. And I have twice as much of this stuff, so might as well use it. It takes a little longer, but it's looking real good. Let me just point out the difference here between waxed and not waxed, okay? This is the section that is waxed. I use the combination buffing compound wax. And this is the section that's just, I use wax remover on to take the old wax off. Look at the difference. Especially for some reason, that blue really pops. The white, not quite as much. It looks really good, but that blue just looks amazing. Alright, back to work. Alright, so basically I just take another lint-free rag, pour some wax on it. Yep, it's really thick and it's cold. Go over to the boat. I just rub a little bit of wax on the boat. There we go. Looks good. And with this type of wax, with this light buffing compound, you just want to rub it and buff it until the wax is gone. You don't want to let it dry to a haze and then come back. You just rub it and wipe it till it's gone. Again, this is pretty thick, so it takes a lot of rubbing. It takes a little bit more time. Here I just kind of go over the bootstrap first, then I'll get up on the picnic table and go over the rest of the top sides. Alright, it's 5 o'clock. I'm done buffing and waxing the boat. I'm exhausted, but I'm really happy the way it turned out. On this side, I used the buffing compound with the wax combination, or the light buffing compound with wax, and used a buffer, and I don't know if I did it wrong or what, but the result was not good. Luckily, I just put wax on it and it looks great. The other side, I just washed it with soap and water, stripped the wax, old wax, and just put the new layer of wax on, and the wax without the rubbing compound in it, just the wax, goes on a lot easier, a lot faster, and it looks really good. The Carnauba wax I used to use it works good, but it's so hard to put on. So I can tell because the boat's still this is still so smooth after 5 years of waxing it with Carnauba wax every year, but the application is so much easier with the 3M wax. And I just did the splash test, splashed some water on the boat, and it all beads up nice. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but I'm exhausted. I really should take a few minutes and start scuffing the VC17 paint, but I don't think so. I think I'm gonna pack up and get out of here, and maybe I'll start doing that after work. A half hour here, half hour there, scuffing paint and a new anode here, and she'll be ready to go in the water maybe next week. Then all the other projects are much easier to do when the boat's in the water because I don't have to climb up the ladder. So it would be nice to get it in the water next week, even though it's March 30th and we usually don't go until mid to late May. So we'll get in the water and see what happens. Anyway, I'm packing up. I'm out of here. We'll see how the 3M wax holds up. From applying it, I would definitely do it again or buy it again. I mean, I haven't supplied, but I would recommend it. I'll say that much. Now we'll just see how it holds up. The real test is what the boat's going to look like in the fall. All right, time to pack up and get out. Bye.